I recall the first moment I gazed into your eyes, not merely their appearance, but how they seemed to look through me. It wasn't just a fleeting glance. It wasn't mere curiosity. It felt ancient, like the ocean seeking answers from the sky. You stood there saying little, yet my heart grasped your essence before my lips could articulate it. That smile, part whisper, part tempest, still resides deep within me. And now, even though we find ourselves at opposite ends of something we never intended to create, I cannot perceive you this way, distant, frigid, like a memory that refuses to come alive. I keep wishing I'll awaken to find your shadow cast across my pillow. But your scent has vanished from the sheets, and your laughter no longer resonates in the morning light. We converse like strangers now, polite yet hollow, careful not to disrupt the silence. I once counted stars with you, now I tally unanswered messages, and the pauses between our words. Tell me, how did we transform into phantoms in a narrative we promised never to haunt? How did your name start to taste like farewell? I trace the spots where your fingers once lingered, on my arm, across my lips, over my heart, and I ponder if they ever truly departed. Sometimes I sit in the darkness, not to weep, but to feel nearer to the stillness you left behind. There was a time when even our silence felt sacred, brimming with unvoiced promises and midnight confessions. Now it's merely emptiness. You still smile in photographs as you did when you loved me, but I understand better now. I recognize what pretending looks like, because I do it too. I laugh at things that don't amuse me. I claim I'm fine when I'm crumbling inside. I scroll past your name as if it doesn't momentarily halt my world. But the reality is, every part of me still longs for a version of us that never figured out how to disintegrate. I want to believe there's still a spark left in you, a memory, a melody, a scent that makes your heart constrict the way mine does each night. Because I cannot view you this way, as someone who never meant everything, as someone who never meant anything at all. There are mornings when I awaken, reaching out for you, still half asleep yet brimming with hope, only to discover an empty space where you once fit so seamlessly. My hands clench into fists, before I come to terms with the fact that there's no one to embrace, just sheets twisted like thoughts I can't seem to untangle. Sometimes I softly utter your name, not because I expect a reply, but because I wish for the silence to remember. It's harsh how memories resonate louder than voices, how the past wields a sharper tongue than the present. You used to gaze at me as if I were a horizon worth pursuing, as if every part of me held significance. Now, if we happen to cross paths, your eyes dart past mine, as if I'm an unfinished tale you no longer have the bravery to explore. And that's what shatters me, not the absence, but the way we dismiss what we shared as if it were merely weather, something that has come and gone. I cannot perceive you in this manner, like a stranger with familiar eyes. I long to shout that I still have faith in us, but even echoes seem hesitant to return to a place where love has been muted. Sometimes I envision you not as you are now, but as you were when we still held on to belief. In those dreams, you reach for me without a second thought, your voice gentle, unguarded, untouched by the chasm we created with silence. We stroll through streets that no longer exist, hand in hand, laughing as if we never forgot how. I awaken with tears in my eyes, and the taste of your name lingering on my lips. The world always feels chillier after that. I ponder if you ever think of me during those quiet moments when the burden of pretending lifts from your shoulders. Do you ever listen to the songs we once claimed as our own? Do they still hold meaning, or did they lose their enchantment when we ceased to dance? I catch glimpses of you in everything, your favorite film playing in the background of a stranger's home, the scent of your cologne wafting through a crowd, the way someone else's hand moves as yours once did. But they're all mere shadows, faint imitations, because none of them are you, and I cannot perceive you in this way, out of reach, untouched, as if we never connected at all. I carry you in ways I wish I could forget, in the way I hesitate before opening my heart to someone new, in the way I replay our conversations like cherished melodies, searching for the moment when everything unraveled. You were never merely a chapter, you were the entire exquisite novel, and now that the pages are tattered, I persist in trying to read what is no longer present. You once confided that I made you feel truly seen, so tell me, how did we become invisible to one another? I stroll past the places where we once etched our happiness, benches, cafes, late-night sidewalks, and they now resemble gravestones. I yearn to ask if you are content, but I dread the response, because if you are, it signifies that I have been mourning a phantom while you have been discovering how to soar, and if you are not, then we have both lost something that neither of us will ever reclaim. You spoke of forever as if it were a certainty, and I accepted it as if it were scripture, but now, I can no longer perceive you in this light, like a lesson I had to endure, like a love I was never destined to hold. There exists a pain that resides in the stillness, after your name is uttered, as if the very air recalls how you used to fill the space. I still converse with you at times, in those quiet moments, when the world feels gentler, when rain softly taps against the window, or the moonlight cascades across the floor, as your hair once did, over my chest. I no longer anticipate answers. I merely speak, because some fragments of me still believe you are listening, even if from a distance I cannot bridge. I strive to forget, yet forgetting you feels akin to forgetting how to breathe. People claim that healing arrives in waves, but some waves never cease. They merely become quieter, more patient, biding their time for me to turn away. I wish to forgive you, and perhaps I already have, but more than that I long to forgive myself for still loving you in silence, for still glancing at the clock, wondering if you think of me too. But how can I, when every iteration of you continues to dwell within me? I cannot perceive you in this manner, as someone I once knew, someone I am meant to cease remembering. You were never just a fleeting storm, you were the sky before it changed, the stillness before the thunder, the promise of something wild and unforgettable, and I was the fool standing outside, waiting to be struck. I welcomed you like a secret I was never meant to share, and you resided in me as if you had always belonged. But now I navigate through days that don't recognize your name, surrounded by faces urging me to move on, to be whole without the pieces you took with you. They don't grasp that you were the blueprint, the heartbeat, the morning I anticipated, and now, everything feels just a bit too quiet, a bit too gray. I want to be angry, but love doesn't perish with rage, it fades in silence, in empty spaces where words once thrived. I scroll through our memories like pages in a dream I can't awaken from, and I keep thinking, you're out there, laughing, breathing, living, but not with me, and that reality is louder than anything I can endure. I cannot perceive you this way, not when I still see you everywhere, not when you still exist in everything I feel. Some nights I ponder if you ever reflect on the little things, the way I would fall asleep first, and you'd gently brush the hair from my eyes, or how I'd always snatch the last bite just to watch you feign annoyance. I wonder if you miss the quiet rituals, the slow burning comfort we created amidst all the chaos. I know we didn't always get it right. We hurt each other with words we didn't mean and silences that conveyed too much. But I would relive all of it again, every moment, beautiful or broken, just to feel your hand in mine one more time. People say time heals, but they forget to mention how it also erases. And I'm terrified of forgetting the sound of your voice, the warmth of your skin, the exact shade of your eyes when you were happy. I write about you as if you're still here, as if each sentence might draw you closer. But no matter how many words I spill out, I cannot reach you through ink. And still, I cannot see you this way. As a memory, I catch glimpses of you at times, across a crowded room, in the laughter of a stranger, or in the recesses of my mind, when I least anticipate it. And with each encounter, my heart seems to forget. It forgets the distance that now lies between us. It forgets the silence that entwined itself like ivy around our final farewell. It only recalls you as you once were, reaching out to me as if I were the sole thing that ever held meaning. Yet the world continued its relentless march, and carried you along with it. I remained behind, clinging to a version of us that transcended time. You were more than mere love to me. You embodied the essence of being understood without the need for words. Now, I find myself speaking excessively to those who never truly listen, while remaining silent with those who genuinely care. I cannot discern which of these pains me more. There are days when I don your memory, like a shield, and others when it feels like an unhealed wound. Nevertheless, I carry you tenderly, even when the burden is great, especially when it weighs heavily upon me. For I cannot perceive you in this manner, like a door I was never destined to open, like a life I was only meant to traverse, never to truly inhabit.